And welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to see consolidation from scratch, and I request you guys to watch this video till the end and also do share with your friends if it benefits you. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first and foremost, it's a consolidation chapter. So first question is, A Limited holds 100% of the shares in B Limited. Okay, at the end of the year, B Limited earns 20,000. Okay, so here A Limited is holding 100%, right? The entire profit which is earned by its subsidiary, that is B Limited, will go to its A Limited. So that's pretty straightforward and easy. So at the end of the year, B Limited declares a dividend of 30% and also earns a profit of 20,000. Okay, same. A Limited is holding 100% of the shares in B Limited, and B Limited is giving dividend. So it will give to shareholders. Who is the shareholder? A Limited, because A Limited is having 100% of the shares, right? Is holding 100% of the shares. So whatever dividend that is paid, the amount of 30,000 will go to A Limited. Okay, and also whatever profits that are earned will go to A Limited, because A Limited is having 100% of the holding. Correct? Okay, let's see the other one. So what if A Limited holds only 80% of the shares in B Limited? How the amount will be shared between A Limited and NCI? Okay, here the NCI car value is 20%. Okay, since A Limited is holding 80%, another non-controlling interest is 20%. Now this 30,000 and 20,000, whatever is earned by B Limited, that is subsidiary, will be bifurcated between A Limited and non-controlling interest. So out of 30,000 and 20,000, 80%, 30,000 plus 20,000, 80% will go to A Limited, and then Baki ka will go to non-controlling interest, that is 20%. Okay, now let's try and understand. A Limited purchased 80% of the shares for 1,50,000. What is the value? He's asking us to calculate the value of non-controlling interest through fair value basis. Okay, here the given information is what? 80% I've brought it for 1,50,000. So that's how you calculate what would be the value for 100%. Okay, if you calculate what would be the value for 1,50,000 divided by 80%, you get 1,87,500. Matlab, the value of non-controlling interest is how much? 1,87,500 minus 1,50,000. You're getting my point? That is 37,500 is the value of non-controlling interest through fair value basis. Okay, now let's see another question. A Limited purchased 80% of the shares for 1,50,000. Fine. Net identifiable assets is also given here. Net identifiable assets of the purchasers are 1,70,000. Okay, what is the value of non-controlling interest on proportionate share basis? So whenever there is a proportionate share basis, you have to take net identifiable assets, that is 1,70,000, into, you have to, what is the percentage of non-controlling interest? It is 20%. So 1,70,000 is the net identifiable assets. Usme non-controlling interest ka kitna? 20%. So it comes to 34,000. See, there are two methods of calculating non-controlling interest. One is fair value method and the other one is proportionate share basis. So fair value, we have taken whatever the fair value which is given in the question, you will consider that. And for proportionate share basis method, you will see what are the net identifiable assets that are there with the subsidiary. Usme se non-controlling interest ka hisab kitna. Okay, in that non-controlling interest is 20%. So net identifiable assets into non-controlling interest, you will get the value of non-controlling interest via proportionate share basis method. I hope this point is clear. Now let's see another question. See, I'm just breaking down each and every question is an advanced one. Okay, so definitely once you open the ICI book, now you will be able to solve those questions as well. Okay, so we are building up by each and every question. Okay, let's see. Parent holding 100% of the shares in subsidiary. Fine. And then यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? Parent has sold some inventory to its subsidiary. ठीक है, parent है भाई. It has sold to its subsidiary. Okay. And it has sold how much? 20,000 value it has sold. Is there any profit? Without any profit. ठीक है. Parent का cost था 20,000 and it has transferred it to its subsidiary at 20,000 only without claiming any profit. Let's go. And which is lying in the books of subsidiary at the end of the year. The entire amount which is transferred to subsidiary, though, the 20,000 inventory value, that is still lying in the books. Now how this will be adjusted in the consolidated financial statements is the question. ठीक है, parent transfer to subsidiary. करेक्ट, यहाँ से इन्वेंट्री निकल गया और यहाँ पे इन्वेंट्री बढ़ गया. ठीक है, राइट. Now how the accounts are recognized, we will try and understand. So let's see from parents point of view. पेरेंट को क्या है? इट हैज सोल्ड, वो रेवेन्यू रिकॉग्नाइज करेगा. सो डेटार्स अकाउंट डेबिट टू रेवेन्यू. ठीक है, 20,000 डेटार कौन है? यहाँ पे सब्सिडरी है. ठीक है, सब्सिडरी से पैसे मिलना है बिकॉज आई सोल्ड इट टू सब्सिडरी, सो डेटार्स अकाउंट टू रेवेन्यू अकाउंट 20,000, यहाँ पे वही है 20K, ठीक है। एंड देन यहाँ से इन्वेंट्री जा रहा है, योर इन्वेंट्री विल बी क्रेडिटेड, ओके। 20,000 वर्थ ऑफ इन्वेंट्री इज गोइंग आउट, इन्वेंट्री क्रेडिटेड, तो डेबिट क्या होगा, कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड 20K, ओके। नाउ these are the entries of the parent. What will subsidiary क्या recognize करेगा, subsidiary will recognize inventory because inventory it is purchasing, okay। inventory account debit to creditors, see this is the entry, inventory account debit to creditors, 20K का inventory आ रहा है, it has purchased 20K का inventory and then it has to pay to its parent 20K, okay। so this is parent and this is subsidiary, okay। what happens in consolidated financial statements is all your inter-indebtedness, inter transfers या जो भी है, intra profit, all that will get eliminated, okay। now let's see, this is parent books, these two are parent entries, this is subsidiary का entry। now let's try and understand, your debtor 20,000 value and your creditor 20,000 value will get cancelled out, gone, and your inventory 20,000 value credit and your inventory debit which is will again get cancelled out, खाली दो ही बच जाते हैं तुम्हारे, रेवेन्यू और कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड, दिस कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड एंड रेवेन्यू इज left in the books। now to cancel those, you will reverse, you will say revenue account debit 20,000 to cost of goods sold। I hope this is clear, I'll just explain again। ठीक है, so these two are recognized by, let's go, so these are parent entries। so when a parent is selling, वो debtors 20K एंड देन रेवेन्यू बुक करेगा 20K, राइट। और उसके बुक्स में से ना इन्वेंट्री चले जा रहा है, तो इट विल क्रेडिट इन्वेंट्री 20,000 एंड देन डेबिट करेगा कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड, दीज टू आर एंट्रीज रिकॉग्नाइज बाय योर पेरेंट। नाउ ये दिस इज द एंट्री रिकॉग्नाइज बाय योर सब्सिडरी, क्योंकि वो इन्वेंट्री खरीद रहा है तो इट बिकम्स डेबिट 20K अमाउंट एंड क्रेडिटर्स इट हैज़ टू पे, राइट, इट हैज़ टू पे टू इट्स पेरेंट, तो क्रेडिटर आ गया। तो इन सब में से ना यहाँ पे देखें तो इन्वेंट्री जो क्रेडिट है और इन्वेंट्री जो डेबिट है, दिस विल गेट कैंसल्ड आउट इन द कंसोलिडेटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, एंड ये जो डेटार्स एंड ये जो क्रेडिटार्स हैं 2020 दैट विल गेट कैंसल्ड आउट। बस दो ही बच गए, यहाँ पे रेवेन्यू बच गया, यहाँ पे कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड बच गया। सो कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड इज डेबिटेड इन द इंडिविजुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, तो उसको क्रेडिट करेंगे टू रिवर्स द एंट्रीज बिकॉज यू हैव टू रिमूव ऑल दोज एंट्रीज, 20K का रिवर्स हो गया। और ये जो रेवेन्यू है ना वो क्रेडिट हुआ इंडिविजुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में, तो यू विल डेबिटेड रेवेन्यू अकाउंट डेबिट 20K। So this is the entry, ultimate entry that you will pass, revenue account debit to cost of goods sold 20K. Okay, this is what happens in your consolidated financial statement. I hope you got some clarity here. Now let's try and understand what happens when you sell it at profit. ठीक है, parent sold to its subsidiary 35,000 for 35,000 rupees and cost is, मतलब it has made a profit of 15,000, मतलब cost हो गया तुम्हारा 20,000 and which is lying with the subsidiary at the end of the year. Okay, till here it is clear, no? Let's go. So how are we going to recognize the same in the consolidated financial statements is the question. Okay, so yeah, parent debtors to revenue recognize करेगा 35,000 का, see amount का difference आ गया, because I sold it for 35,000 I'll recognize revenue for 35,000, perfect। and then ये inventory and creditors, because subsidiary is purchasing for 35,000 rupees, he will recognize inventory for 35,000, perfect। and then he has to pay the amount to the parent, so creditor भी आ गया, so inventory to creditor हो गया, तो ये दो entry हो गए। and then in parents books of accounts, no, your inventory is going out, what is the value of inventory, only 20,000, it's not 35,000, inventory का actual value is 20,000, so you will credit inventory by 20,000 and then cost of goods sold जो है, the cost of that 35,000 is only 20,000, so you will debit that। तो exactly in the same way, no, यहाँ पे inventory जो है, if you see this inventory and this inventory will get cancelled out, but यहाँ पे 15,000 और रहेगा, you're getting my point, because 15K balance is still there because this is for a value of 35,000 and this is 20,000, okay। inventory का debit balance 15,000 है, that is your profit element to be honest, and यहाँ पे जो creditor है, this creditor and this debtor will get cancelled out, 35,000 and 35,000, ठीक है। बाकी क्या बच गया तुम्हारा, रेवेन्यू बच गया, सो यू विल डेबिट रेवेन्यू जो क्रेडिट हुआ है इंडिविजुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में, यू विल डेबिट इट, रेवेन्यू अकाउंट डेबिट ठीक है। और कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड जो है यहाँ पे, जो कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड जो है रेवेन्यू अकाउंट कितने का 35,000, ठीक है, ये हो गया। एंड देन नाउ कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड विच इज़ डेबिटेड, नाउ यू आर क्रेडिटिंग कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड कितने का वैल्यू 20 है। और जो ये इन्वेंट्री बच गया है ना डेबिट वैल्यू, तो उसको क्रेडिट करेंगे इन्वेंट्री 15 के। आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दिस पॉइंट, ठीक है। यहाँ पे रेवेन्यू और कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड वी आर रिवर्सिंग दोज एंट्रीज, बट एट द सेम टाइम व्हेन प्रॉफिट एलिमेंट इज देयर इन योर इन्वेंट्री यू हैव टू रिमूव इवन दैट ऑल्सो, यू हैव टू एलिमिनेट दैट फ्रॉम योर इन्वेंट्री, दैट इज द अल्टीमेट थिंग दैट वी हैव डन, ठीक है। लेट्स गो। What is the fourth question? ये ICA का question है. Now you will be in a position to solve even this question as well. Let's see. Parent sold to its 80% subsidiary. देखो भाई मेरा 100% होल्डिंग नहीं है, 80% ही है. तो पेरेंट हैज सोल्ड टू इट्स सब्सिडरी वर्थ कॉस्ट कितना 200, वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स फॉर 240 lakhs, मतलब 40 इज योर प्रॉफिट. क्लियर? तो इट इज क्लियर. एंड ओनली 50% ऑफ द गुड्स इज लाइंग इन द स्टॉक. So what will be its effect in the consolidated financial statements? I'm telling you there won't be any change in your journal entry, ठीक है. रेवेन्यू आएगा अकाउंट डेबिट because you have credited revenue before. Now you will debit that to cost of goods sold to inventory. Now let's try and understand. रेवेन्यू कितने का बुक करा मैंने 240 lakhs का रेवेन्यू बुक करा, उसमें से ओनली 50% इज लाइंग इन द बुक्स. सो यू विल रिवर्स ओनली 50% ऑफ द अमाउंट, दैट इज 120. 240 lakhs का 50% इज योर 120. कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स, कॉस्ट था मेरे को 200 lakhs. ओके, कॉस्ट वॉज 200 lakhs, ओनली 50% इज लाइक, सो 100. एंड प्रॉफिट वॉज 200 minus 240 minus 200 is your 40 is your profit, right? See exactly 40 is your profit. उसमें से 50% is only still lying, मतलब that is not the unrealized profit, you haven't sold it to outside people, so that is the profit that is earned by the parent. Okay, now in consolidated financial statements intra profit जो भी है you will eliminate it. So जो inventory में है, so you will reverse inventory because inventory is actually having that profit element. So inventory को credit कर देंगे, that is what exactly is done here. And here also we have done the same thing. Okay, revenue को debit करे, cost of goods sold credit inventory, revenue, cost of goods sold and inventory. Okay, now you have to think properly and accordingly act. So इस questions में ना if you see there is a DTA adjustment also, like tax base जो है, tax base is still 20 और tax base of an inventory is 20, but tax base of your carrying value का जो बुक्स में है ना उसको तुम 20 से रिड्यूस कर दिया, तो तुम्हारा कैरिंग वैल्यू इज 0, बट इन टैक्स बेस ऑफ द इन्वेंटरी देयर इज 20. तो टैक्स बेस ऑफ द एसेट इज मोर देन द कैरिंग वैल्यू, तो डिफर्ड टैक्स एसेट आएगा. ओके, सो 20 इंटू वट एवर इज द टैक्स परसेंटेज, दैट इज 30%. सो तुम डिफर्ड टैक्स 6 रुपीज़ का रिकॉग्नाइज करते हो. आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर. लेट्स गो. A Limited acquired B Limited for 150 crores. Okay, identifiable net assets is 130. I paid 150 crores and I got goods, like I got assets of 130. मतलब there is a goodwill element of 20 crores. ठीक है, I paid more than what I got, तो goodwill 20 crores. A Limited acquired 80% of B Limited for 120 crores. यहाँ पे I acquired only 80%. Okay, and the net assets is 130. Okay, non-controlling interest is, so let's try and analyze. So I got net assets of 130 crores, and then what is the amount that I paid to cash 120 crores, और non-controlling interest का कितना है 30 crores. Now see यहाँ पे total value, me and my non-controlling interest we paid 150 for 130 assets. 130 के लिए इतना पे करे, तो obviously there is goodwill element. गुडविल अकाउंट डेबिट हो जाएगा 20 crores. ठीक है, लेट्स गो फर्दर. नाउ यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन. दिस इज एन ICA क्वेश्चन. ओके, यहाँ पे ओनली 60% इज एक्वायर्ड बाय राजा लिमिटेड बाय पेइंग कैश कंसिडरेशन ऑफ 750 lakhs. सो हाउ मच यू पेड 750. सो द फेयर वैल्यू ऑफ नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट ऑन द डेट ऑफ एक्विजिशन इज 480. ठीक है, तुम 750 पे करे एंड देन बैलेंस 40% का नॉन कंट्रोलिंग इंटरेस्ट, 60% वाला कितना दिया 750, 40% वाला 480 दिया. फॉर व्हाट? आइडेंटिफाइबल एसेट्स हो गए तुम्हारे. फॉर एसेट्स, एसेट्स कितने थे? योर एसेट्स आर 1000. नाउ सी 750 प्लस 480 इज व्हाट वी पेड टू गेट व्हाट 1000 एसेट्स. सो जो 230 का है ना, दैट इज़ योर गुडविल, perfect. Chalo, A Limited acquired and also pass a journal entry. Let's try and pass a journal entry here. Okay, so simple है journal entry, कुछ भी नहीं. Assets account debit हो जाएगा, net identifiable assets account debit 1000. How much cash you paid? 750. Non controlling interest कितना है? 480. So you will get a goodwill of whatever is the balance, 230. So that's how you pass a journal entry. I hope it is clear. Now let's try and solve another one. A Limited acquired B Limited for 400 crores. Identifiable net assets is 520. देखो, I paid only 400 crores, but कितना मिला मेरे को? 520 crores. So there is a gain in bargain purchase. Okay, 520 minus 400, that is 120 crores. 120 crores का gain है मेरे को, ठीक है. Now A Limited acquired only 80%, ठीक है. 100% नहीं, only 80% for 400 crores. Non-controlling interest का value हो गया 100. Identifiable net assets same. How much assets you got? Identifiable net assets I got 520, and then I paid for 80%. I've paid 400 crores, and that 20% fellow non-controlling interest का value is 100. ठीक है. So we paid 500 and we got what? 520. So there is again a gain in bargain purchase. Okay, 20 crores. So pass the journal entry for the above. Simple. Identifiable assets account debit हो जाएगा तुम्हारा 520 से, और cash you are paying cash, so obviously credit. Non-controlling interest will have a credit balance, so non-controlling interest का 10, and then the balance gain obviously is a credit, so 20. I hope this point is also clear, and this video must be helpful. If this video is helpful, please do hit that subscribe button. It's a new channel, please show some support, and it gives me a lot of boost. So let's continue. तो ये हो गया तुम्हारा स्टेप एक्विजिशन, ठीक है. सी अंडरस्टैंड, फर्स्ट आई इन्वेस्टेड ओनली 30%. उसका कैरिंग वैल्यू इन द बुक्स इज 100 lakhs. लेटर ऑन व्हाट आई डिड, आई परचेस्ड इवन द अदर 70% ऑल्सो. ओके, तो पहले मेरे पास ओनली 30% था. एट दैट टाइम आई डिडंट हैव एनी कंट्रोल. Okay, now I purchase balance 70%. Total I'm holding 100%. That is, I'm having control. If you're holding more than 50%, that means that you're having control. Okay, so whenever you gain control of the subsidiary, then there is a change in accounting process. Let's understand. ठीक है, earlier no, I was having this 30% carrying value as 100 lakhs. So whenever you have control, you have to de-recognize that first. ठीक है, inventory, so investment जो है you will credit 100 lakhs, ठीक है. And then later on purchased A purchased for 700 lakhs. You are paying the amount. Okay, cash is going out, again credit. So this is credit, this is credit. कितने का? 700. Okay, and then what is the amount that I'm getting? I'm getting net identifiable assets of 80 lakhs. So assets I'm getting 800 ka. So this is debited. Okay, now what is the gain? See, the value of 30% is 300 lakhs. In the books, it is recognized as 100 lakhs. Okay, but actual value of that 30% is 300 lakhs. Okay, now there is a gain. Gain को अपन क्या करेंगे? Credit करेंगे. Gain कितने का? 300 lakhs is the current value, and in the books it is 100. So there is 200 crores of gain that I got. Okay, so 7 to 1000. So there is a goodwill of 200. This is a balancing figure. Let's understand here. See, fair value transfer कितना था? Assets मैंने cash दिया 700, और fair value of previously held interest is 300. And then कितना assets मिले मेरे को? I gave up 1000 crores to get what? 800 crores. Okay, 800 lakhs maybe. Okay, I gave 1000 lakhs to get 800 lakhs. Clear? So there is a goodwill of 200. Let's go. Let's solve another question. This is kind of theory and also very important for the exam point of view. Let's see. चला zoom in करेंगे. And then here X has invested in A 100%, and then A again invested in B and C. What is the question? तो बोलता है कि X is a listed entity. Okay, and A is not listed and not in the process of listing. Is this important to know? Yes, it is very important to know. The question is whether A can claim exemption from preparing consolidated financial statements. When can you claim exemption from preparing consolidation financial statements? There are three conditions. Okay, if all the three conditions are satisfied, then you can avail exemption from preparing CFS. Okay, first condition is that तुम्हारा parent जो है, ठीक है, parent prepares consolidated financial statements. A takes permission of its all of its parents, and none of the parent gives any kind of an objection. Okay, and then the third point is this A is there, no, this should not be a listed entity or not in the process of listing entity. Okay, if these three conditions are satisfied, then A limited can avail exemption from preparing CFS. Okay, let's see. यहाँ पे तो clear है, X is a listed entity and A is a non-listed entity. This one is a listed entity and this is a not listed entity. We are clear there. Company A can avail exemption from CSS. Three conditions are satisfied or not. Parent A of company A is preparing. So यहाँ पे we should know whether company X is preparing or not. In case if company X is preparing, then first condition is satisfied. Company A is a not listed entity. Yes, it is not a listed entity and not in the process of getting listed. Third one is that parent of company A does not object. Okay, none of the parents should object. If these three conditions are satisfied, then it can claim exemption. Now see. Now what if company X is a foreign entity? ये क्या बोल रहा है? तुम्हारा पेरेंट कंपनी जो है, इट इज़ अ फॉरेन एंटिटी बोल रहा है. सो दिस इज़ अ फॉरेन एंटिटी. ओके, इफ इट्स अ फॉरेन एंटिटी, इट विल प्रिपेयर इट्स CFS as per those laws which are applicable in that country. Okay, so it will not prepare its CFS as per India's. So in that case, no, company A cannot avail. It cannot avail exemption. Okay, its parent has to prepare CFS. That's the first condition. Okay, here our parent is preparing CFS as per some other law, not India's. So okay, all the three conditions must satisfy. That is very important. Investments in company A is not done by company X, but it's done by individual X. Investments of company A जो है, okay, company A is not done. यहाँ पे in this if you see, it is done by a foreign company or Indian company. What if this fellow is individual? See, individual जो है ना, वो definitely will not prepare CFS as per India's. ठीक है. So in that case, no, you cannot avail exemption from preparing CFS because your basic condition is not getting satisfied. One of the condition is not getting satisfied. Okay. Now following is the structure of the group headed by company A. See, try and understand. Company A invest 100% here and only 60%. मतलब 40% is held by some other person, non-controlling interest. Okay. Now the question is, company A is a listed entity. Fine, this is a listed entity. And company C जो है, it is an unlisted entity. This is unlisted. Fine. So the question is whether company C can avail exemption from not preparing CFS. उसके लिए three conditions है. So you should know, whether it's a company A is preparing. In case if company A is preparing CFS, first condition is satisfied. And then C जो है ना, not just A, it has to take permission of this non-controlling interest also. It has to take permission from all of them and none of them should object. That is the second condition. If these people don't object, if these two parents, company A and non-controlling interest, if these two people don't object, company C not preparing CFS, then your second condition is also satisfied. What is the third condition? Third condition is company C should not be a listed entity and not in the process of listing. They have given that company C is an unlisted entity. So if all these three conditions are satisfied, then and then only you can claim exemption. So don't forget that, company C has to take permission from non-controlling interest as well. Those are the other owners. What if 40% is held by company B? Should the company C inform the other owners? ठीक है. तो ये company B is investing in company C only 40%. Okay. तो यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन क्या है? अल्टीमेटली 60% इज होल्ड बाई कंपनी है और 40% इज होल्ड बाई, फॉरगेट अबाउट दिस, %40 is held by company B is what is saying. Okay. So and then company B is ultimately owned by company A. Okay, if I take permission of company A, that is sufficient. That's the answer, because ultimately company A is the one which is holding this also, and then indirectly this is holding here. Okay, if you take permission of company A, that will be sufficient. I hope this point is clear, and if this video was helpful, please do share with your friends, and we are coming up with more such series, and definitely this will make your job easy, and please do like and subscribe, and thank you all so much. See you all in another video.